That's a nice stick. We're in October now, as you can probably see from the condensation. It's a bit cooler. It's probably not as cold as it looks, to be honest. Well, at least I'm not too cold. We're on 12th of October now, so nearly halfway through. And we're in woods. Just come out for a fairly quick one today. I wanted to sit and enjoy. I knew it was going to be foggy this morning, so we were up early and out into the woods so that I can sit and have a cup of tea, watch the fog clear amongst the trees. I'm also doing another little video while I'm here. If you want to know about these gloves, I've had them for a year now, so I'm just going to give a bit of an overview because I've got some feedback for them, I think. So if you want to watch that, then if the video's not out already, it'll be out soon. We were out in these woods, this same set of woods last week, and we found an absolute mother load of penny buns. I've dehydrated those at home. Some have been powdered so that you can spoon into stocks and things, and some have just been dehydrated and sliced up ready to be rehydrated and put into pasta and that sort of thing as an ingredient. But I got enough to last me the year, I think, so I didn't really need any more than what I took. I think one of the things about spending time outside and in the woods and generally outdoors is you start to appreciate what nature's given you. And it's really important to me now that I don't take any more than I need, and where I can give back in some way, then I do. Like with mushrooms and things, I try and carry them in a way which means I'm going to spread the spores. With penny buns, they've got the spongy, porous underside rather than gills, and you can scrape that off and chuck it around because it's not very good to eat that bit anyway, and it comes off super easily. You can get it off as one sheet if you're careful. I've been trying to pick up a bit more litter that I see as well, because some of it will be people being inconsiderate. Like, there will be that, I know that. And therefore I want to try and right that wrong. But also, sometimes, you know, it's a windy day and your bin blows over and, you know, just litter happens. It's not necessarily just selfish people. But it's really easy just to pick up a few bits, isn't it? Finn will pick up any litter, especially if it's got food in it. Look at this guy. Good boy. Well done, bud. It's a nice view, isn't it? That's my view. Beauty. I'll let Finn have a run round in a minute. I'm just letting the firebox cool down. I quite like the firebox. Hello. What are you doing over here? Careful, that's my tea. Down. Good boy. Stay there. I do like the Firebox. I like the Bushbox as well. I know that I reviewed it and said that I didn't think it should warp as much as it did, and I still stand by that. Could probably bend it back. However, I've not had the same issue with the Firebox, and I've been using it in exactly the same way. Probably for about the same amount of time now as well. I think they're both great, to be honest. You can't really go wrong with either. Did you enjoy my lipstick on the last woodsy video I did? Because what I didn't think about, even though I've drank out of this a million times, is that you get all the soot from the wood, and then it transfers onto your face, and it makes you look as though you're dressed up for the weekend. Cheers. Now we're getting into autumn and winter. I'm going to be doing a bit of camping, and also I've got some ration packs still to get through and talk about. I've got a Ukrainian ration pack, which I'm not sure if it's still in date or not, but we'll give it a go. See if anything's still edible in that. All the power to the Ukrainians, who are actually having to eat them in anger at the moment. What a dreadful, dreadful situation that is. Makes us lucky really, doesn't it? I can come and sit in these beautiful woods, enjoy a cup of tea, and I'm not worrying about being shot by a roaming unit of enemy, or artillery, or have a drone drop a bomb on my head or explode on me. Incredibly fortunate. I wish them all the best. Brave and tough people. So I was going to talk a little bit about what I've been up to, because I went quiet from videos for a little while. Part of it was due to it being summer and it not really being good camping season for me anyway. I don't really like being in a hot, super hot climate and in a tent, and you can't be out of a tent or a hammock because then you've got millions of bitey things. But yeah, also other stuff going on. So my day job, my actual job, is in software engineering, sort of management really. And the place I've been at since 2016, something like that. But unfortunately at the end of August I got made redundant from that, so just a bit of a pause to work out what I want to do really. I worked for Sky, and they got taken over by Comcast years ago, doing the big thing that Comcast tend to do and big corporations tend to do in general, which is get rid of as many people as they can to deliver things as cheaply as they can. It's pretty much to be expected from them. I know they haven't got a very good reputation in the US either. But yes, they're very, very corporate America. So a few of us got made redundant at the end of August, and a load more people have just been made redundant in the last month, I think. Or they're in consultation, which is the same thing. Then, yeah, the outcome never changes. So anyway, I've just been taking a bit of time to just take stock, work out what I want to do. It's been a busy few years, isn't it? Through the pandemic, and then getting married, visa stuff for my wife because she's American, my dad's illness, him eventually dying last year from that, and all the admin around that. There was a lot going on, so I'm actually kind of glad for a bit of a break and some headspace. So whilst it was a shock in terms of it's always big news, right? If you lose your job, There's people in far worse situations than me, and I think it's done me some good to just relax and not have to think about it. Been working on my health, so I've lost about 20, just under 21 kilos now in body weight, which is about 45 pounds in freedom units, I think. About 3.5 stone-ish. Got a bit more to go still, but getting there. Feeling a bit better for that. My joints are feeling a bit better. My knees aren't exploding every time I get down. That sounded wrong, didn't it? You know what I mean. That too, I suppose. Spending time with my wife, spending time outdoors with Finn. Because it happened at the end of August, like my last day at work was the 31st of August. That was like perfect timing for autumn. So I was able to get out and spend time in the woods during the week when it's quieter and, you know, do some mushroom foraging and just experiencing the change from summer through to autumn. And it's been really nice. I'm in a fortunate position that it hasn't immediately put me into any problems because I've been there a while, so I got a redundancy payout, which is going to be enough to tide me over for a little while. And gives me this headspace to think about what I actually want to do. And so I don't really enjoy IT. I don't enjoy software anymore. I'm thankful that my position was a lot of problem solving and stuff, and more people, things and strategy, but just don't really want to just spend my days making a big company even richer. I want to do something that I find fulfilling. What have you been up to? How's your year been? You enjoying autumn wherever you are? Is it autumn where you are? I think in Australia, you're what? Spring now? Can't remember how it works. If you're in Australia, you'll obviously have to turn this video upside down. I was going to show you some bits in my fire kit as well on this video. So I'm going to finish my tea and then we'll have a chat about that, shall we? Just show you what I bring with me. So fire starting stuff. It's quite a big pouch I've got with me today. This isn't my only configuration. You can stay there, bud. So this is just a, well, you're not going to be surprised to know it's a Fjallraven pouch. I'm an absolute fanboy. Here's what it is. But anyway, this is sort of my bigger one that I'd bring out if I'm camping, rather than if I'm doing anything sort of super lightweight. I wouldn't carry all of this. I'll show you what I carry if I'm going for more lightweight. But this is something I can carry if it's only a couple of miles, or you know, if the car's nearby or whatever. So in here, what have I got? I always carry some kind of tinder, so birch bark. You saw I had some fat wood earlier. I've got another bit in here. A little bit of fat wood there. Can you kind of see that that is shiny and dense? It smells amazing. I found this bit in the sort of bottom end of a fallen pine, which is a good place for it because the resin obviously sinks. And usually in the joints of trees as well, so sort of where a branch connects to the main trunk, kind of gathers in that little saddle bit there. So I've got birch bark, fat wood. I'm just going to put it down over here so I don't have to juggle it. I then carry a couple of bits of dry kindling with me. These are kind of chunky, I suppose. Yeah, what can I give you for scale? Like, there's my currently very black thumb. It's quite a chunky piece, but you can split this down. So I carry two usually. What I would likely do if I needed to, if I can't find any dry wood anywhere, I haven't got any other dry wood, split one of them down into little matchstick sort of thickness, and then this one I could either split in two, or if I think I'm alright, I can just keep it as one chunk, and then that'll just be enough fuel to usually dry out any other wood I find if I need to. So I try and start with just some dry wood just in case. So I carry them. This isn't fire lighting specific, but just a Fjallraven CC4. I think a lot of people use DC4s. I tend to prefer these ones, to be honest. CC4 has got a really fine ceramic side, and this will get your knife absolutely shaving sharp. I love this. I've got 2 of these. My Fjallraven DC4, the ceramic side of it cracked, which means that I can't get a. It's no longer flat enough to really get a long enough stroke on the blade with. So far, so good with these ones. The back of the pouch as well, they've started doing them so that the leather on the back is inside out rather than shiny side out. So you've got the texture there. And I've just put a bit of stropping compound, some green stropping compound, impregnated it with that, so I can sharpen and then strop, and that will get my knife razor sharp. The reason I have it in here, first of all, it's useful. I also always have one on my person as well. I think I've actually got another CC4 in my pocket, but if I haven't got it in my pocket for some reason or whatever, the reason I do that is because I also have a knife in here which I use for, the knife will depend, which knife I bring will depend on what we're doing. For sort of small easy stuff like this where I'm not going to be doing much battening or anything, just a small, this is my Esee Izula II. Use that for shaving the birch bark, for shaving the fat wood. You can do a little bit of battening with it for smaller sticks like those 2 dry sticks I showed you. You can batten something like that with a knife this size. It's full tang, so it's not going to break, and these are tough. But the reason I've got the knife sharpener is because I also use this to strike the ferro rod, because the little thing attached to the ferro rod isn't very good. You can see here actually where I've done it today, just there. You can use the tip of the knife if you want to, or you can use whichever bit. The back of this is powder coated, and it doesn't catch a spark very well. It doesn't scrape a spark very well. So what I could do, I could file down the back, but I don't really want to because that coating's protecting the metal. So I can just use the blade, it doesn't matter. Like, I think people are a bit too precious about keeping their blades unused almost. But yeah, I can just do a couple of strokes on the CC4 and that'll be razor sharp again. So that's the knife I tend to carry, either around my neck or in the pouch. I also have this. It's a silky pocket boy little saw. This is the curved blade one, just in case I need to chop any firewood. Smaller stuff for this, obviously. You're not going to be chopping down a tree with it, but anything, you know, up to sort of wrist thickness, you'd probably be alright with this. Just if you need to. This is nice and small and lightweight, and the useful thing about that is you can also use this to strike a ferro rod as well. So the back of a silky is really nice sharp corner. So this will, I'll show you if you want. So the back of this is really nice and sharp. There's a couple of things that aren't strictly fire related that I keep in here, which I keep in here because they're often useful, well, when I do have a fire. So what I mean, so I've got just some latex gloves. Well, not latex, like, you know, whatever gloves they are, like rubber gloves. And the reason I have those is if I'm cooking using chicken or something and I've got no means to properly disinfect my hands, I like to have that. And I also have this at the bottom of the pouch, which is just a bin bag, strong bin bag. Just because if I'm cooking and doing that sort of thing, I'm probably going to be creating some kind of rubbish as well. So I want to keep that with me. I also have a little pocket bellows in there. So you've probably seen these before. It's like an old car aerial, just telescopic. Blow down this end, and that'll concentrate the air at the base of a fire, and it will get embers going nice and quickly. and it's better than putting your face right up against it. It's more efficient than doing that, and it also means you don't get your eyeballs filled with smoke or burn your beard off. And then last but not least, I have sort of a condensed fire kit. So if I'm not carrying that larger fire kit, I will always have this in my day sack. It's just a little tobacco tin. I got this idea, I stole this idea from a guy called Ben at the Bushmoot. He goes by Firestone Bushcraft, so if you happen to watch this, Ben, thank you, because I've totally ripped you off on this. But just the tobacco tin is just a perfect size. It's so small you can put it in your pocket if you want to. You can keep it somewhere. It's not going to take up any space, and it's just the right size to hold stuff. And in here I just have very, very basics. So I have another ferro rod. Oopsie. I have another ferro rod. I have a lighter, just in case the bushcraft gods aren't on my side and I can't get something going otherwise, or in emergencies, you know. So a lighter. I've got a little elastic band that I just hold the plastic button up on that with, just in case, just to stop it from accidentally releasing all the gas if I don't know. I've then got some of these little wax fire lighter paper things. I'll put the name underneath because I've completely forgotten what they're called. But I don't know if you can see that, but they're kind of fluffy inside, and it's sandwiched between, I think it's like paraffin wax or something. And what you can do is you can snap these, fluff them up, and you get a nice fluffy fire lighter that will catch a spark super easily, or you can just use a lighter on it or whatever. But these are great, and I've just got about, how many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 5.5 strips. So usually I'd have 6 in there, but I've used half of one. Just these little strips. And then last but not least, because this takes up no space at all but is really useful, is the bottom of the tin. So if you can see that in there, I don't want to take it all out, but you can see that there. That's a piece of rubber inner tube from a bike, like a bicycle inner tube. And that will burn in, you know, if it's soaking wet in the wind, and it holds a strong flame. And you can just chop it down into little strips if you want to, and that's just like an emergency last resort. I really need something that's going to hold a flame because it's soaking and I'm freezing. So that's the inner tube that I've just sliced open and flattened out, and it takes up no space because it lines the bottom of the tin. So yeah, that's my little emergency / portable fire tin. I quite like the old tobacco tins as well. Erinmore Flake Empire grown tobacco. Yes. British Empire. Some people will go, that's stupid, why do you need all that stuff, or all of that stuff's useless or whatever. And that's fine, we're all different, that's just what works for me. One thing I will note is that unless I'm going to actually be starting a fire, for sure, I will just carry the tin. The reason being is I don't really want to carry a fixed blade knife with me if I don't definitely have a need for it, because of the laws in this country are a bit strict on it. It's just, I don't think worth the risk. Like, unless I'm actually got a use for the fixed blade knife, I just leave it at home. But if I haven't definitely got a use for a fixed blade knife, then I tend to have, like today I've got my just my Spyderco UK pocket knife thing, or another folder or EDC of that kind. So I've never really found myself wanting. I've always got a blade of some kind on me. It's just you have to be a bit careful over here because the police, and well, it's not the police's fault, I don't think. They're just, you know, they're applying the laws that they've been given. But if I had it without a good reason, and they let me go, and then somebody got hurt later as a result of that, you know, they'd never hear the end of it, would they? So I get their position they're in. It's not, I don't envy their position. So yeah, that's the little fire kit I've got with me. Hope it was useful, or at least informative, or interesting in some way. Right, buddy, was it boring? Am I being boring again? Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. Probably a fairly short video today. I appreciate everyone who spends the time to watch and listen to me babbling nonsense. Finn appreciates it as well. Good boy, well done. And if you like it, as always, please do like and subscribe and all that sort of jazz if you're up to it. If you're not, no hard feelings, and we'll see you again soon.
Spin. 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 Release. Good boy.
Mad little bastard.